It's a wet Saturday morning in Lagos. So please check on your friends that live on the island.
I can't sue you.
Hi guys, my name is Tommy. I've been dubbed by the gods of enjoyment as the babyest of boys, and as usual, every Saturday morning I get to talk sports with my guys. Right now, I'm in the studio with some of the brightest minds in sports in Nigeria. I think at least in West Africa. Me I know say
Pretty much.
That
We know small now.
I think say easy to embody the lifestyle spirit and banter of sports fans all over. No easy now. No easy. And this is actually a very special episode because it's not every day an AMVCA winner is on set.
Did I clean your shoe very well? Did I clean your shoe very well?
Select. I don't need to introduce these two. These people can go. If you don't know,
Add our introduction to him.
Exactly.
if you don't know Timmy and Bamiji by now, then forget about it.
But before, let's make him the last person. We also have Chris Brown in the studio. Please, can we give a round of applause for Chris Brown?
CB!
Timmy, please take it off, please. Please just take it off. I beg. Chris Brown, Zaggy. But yeah, man, it's great to have our celeb in the studio, man. AMVCA, Bobby.
It's not easy. You might actually know him from his movie Brotherhood and his show that's currently airing, Itura. I think I pronounced it properly.
Yeah,
Itura. All right, we have the actor, Bobby. AMVCA. Alpha, how you doing, my G? How you doing?
Very well, brother. Good to be here. Nice to be with the great guys of the Home of TSL and let's talk football.
I like
I
that.
see his voice is different.
That's it.
Maybe they shout.
With a shout, you get like
shout.
when
You get some kind of celeb.
I don't
You be celeb. And then,
I don't reach.
how your voice? How you they take compare voice?
That's chill for right
No. See,
Calm down.
it's not easy now, bro. What you're doing in the industry, there's so many people that try to get to this level. I know how difficult it is, and you're making strides. Even though I know you still have a lot of goals in terms of. But bro, we're so proud of you.
Looking at where it's coming from.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Exactly.
Nah,
Timmy
I
said
like
he wanted to be an actor. He has been trying to
that.
get into acting for the past 10 years.
Trying to get a gig.
No gig.
I think the only thing Timmy can act is porn. All right. Speaking about it, Bobby, how's your journey been as an actor? Like, walk us through it, because I know that there's levels to it. Not aside from Timmy, I actually tried, but I think the day I gave up on acting was when I went for a casting that was meant to start at 7:30, and I didn't get to audition till 9 p.m.
You were not informed.
I was not aware.
For me, I think I even stopped completely because anytime I go, the only roles I used to get was bodyguard, policeman. I was in one.
We did extras.
Exactly for in Calabar now. Exactly. Every time bodyguard, policeman. You know the pass end of those.
They gave us 5K for overnight.
All right, Bobby, how did your acting career start? Like, just walk us through it. I'm sure that we have some viewers that are very much interested in acting.
Yeah. So for me, I was quite an opportunity to get a break at a young age. My first ever acting gig was Painter and Friends.
No, for real.
Yeah.
You want to be
When
done?
Peter and friends.
Oh my God, you don't
I
tell.
was part of your childhood.
Bro, who did you play on Beat and Friends?
What?
Who did you play on Beat and Friends?
I played a student that was kidnapped.
He's being vulnerable. And you're laughing.
I'm sorry.
I remember vividly being thrown into a booth. That was the first time I was thrown into a booth for the first time in my life. I remember I was panicking.
You've been thrown into a booth.
Wow. At a very young age.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was panicking, but that was my first ever gig. And then from there, it, opened doors for me. Fortunately, I didn't even take it off from there. I had to stop because my parents were very, very strict people. And they're like, hey, you must be an engineer. So I had to put a stop to all of that, go to school, get my degree, and then.
Okay, so you have a degree.
Yeah, I'm
as
an
well.
electrical engineer.
So you're elect.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's impressive, man. And then
AMVCA.
the crazy thing that you guys don't understand that Bobby is actually very good at sports and games. How many times has Bobby won?
He's won a lot. Not as much as us, but
Not as much as us, but he's trying. He's a close third.
I do my best.
All right, now
when did you? How did you have the time to school, acting? Then you still now go involved with Arsenal.
So for me, I'm a very passionate person. I do what I love, and it's like if I love something and I'm passionate about it, I always find time for it. I remember while I was in school, I would watch Stoke City versus Crystal Palace the whole 90 minutes. I would go to a viewing center and pay 17 and watch the whole. I can watch Hull City versus.
It's giving Victor Boniface.
The whole 90 minutes. So I always find time for things that I love. It was never a problem as long as I'm passionate about it. And acting has always been, since that break with Being Time Friends, it's always been something I know I was going to come back to. But then, let's make the parents happy first.
Yeah, that's actually fair. So
makes sense.
that's actually nice. So yeah, I think we should get right into it. Let's go into it. So if you'd like to join the conversation, don't forget to follow us on X at Home of TSL. And if you'd like to watch a recap of the entire show, you can follow our YouTube page, our YouTube channel at Home of the Sports Lounge. All right, let's get into it. So there are some players that have grown reputations for themselves. Like they started doing things that are on brand. For example, Arsenal scoring a corner. It's like they don't like. I sent a skit to Bamiji about how like an Arsenal player was about to score a regular goal. I was like, oh no. Do you mind? He told the keeper to stand. Like, do you mind kicking it out so we can play? Like, that we have to bring out Saliba, Gabriel, everybody out. Yeah. So now one of those people that have like they've built a reputation for themselves of scoring goals that are I won't call them uncommon but unique. Someone like Vadio, for God's sakes, you're a right-footed defender. Why do you have 6 goals this season with your?
It's left-footed.
Sorry, you're a left-footed defender. Why do you have 6 goals with your right foot?
6 proper goals.
6 bangers with your right foot. Now this is going to spark a lot of conversations because now what we're going to do is I'm going to go round, right? I'm going to do a little bit of nostalgia moment, and each person on this seat, they're going to tell me your favorite goal from a weaker foot, from any player. Name it. Like, I will start first. I think one of them, and it's not even necessarily the goal was mad, but it was scored with his weaker foot. Lionel Messi against Boateng in the Champions League, where he completely deleted him. As in, bro,
And then to the right.
ooh, that was
Good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Good one.
sweet though. Yeah, so let's move around. So, Timmy.
Okay, I mean, I'll just go in line with you too. Mine too is Lionel Messi, but against Getafe. The goal where he dribbled everybody. He scored it with his right.
Yeah, that was actually one of the maddest goals. The
That's like his best
Maradona-esque
goal
goal.
ever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah,
I think it was at that point that everybody just said that this boy is
Yes,
special.
that's Messi.
Yeah.
That's
Bam, what about you?
I'll bring it to the Premier League, yeah. And I'll go to Didier Drogba against Liverpool. So the ball was punted to him in the air, chested it to his left foot,
yeah,
hit it one time.
properly.
Beautiful goal.
Proper goal.
They don't make strikers like that.
They don't.
Never.
They
don't.
don't. All right, but what about you?
For me, I'll stay in the Premier League, and I'll go for one of the best goals the Premier League has ever seen, and that's the Swiss midfielder Pachem Kasami. His Fulham goal against Crystal Palace. The ball was sent over, and he just
Chested with his right.
he just chested and hit it on. He's left-footed, but he hit it with his right foot away from goal, and then he looked over the keeper and went.
Proper goal.
No, that's actually mad.
I do have one question though. What makes a player or players like that? Or, let's say Guardiola for example, he scored only four Premier League goals, and 3 of them have come with his right foot. Then one was an headed goal. Yeah. What makes them be able to use that weaker foot? Is it because of extra training? And why do we have some players who are significantly worse with their weaker foot than these guys that are actually churning goals with their weaker foot?
So for me, I think it's training actually, because if you notice how coaches set up their players to defend, it's always to defend players on their stronger foot. So when Gvardiol gets the ball as a left-footed centre-back playing at left-back, the first instinct of a defender is to try and stop him from going out wide and getting the crossing. So they have to learn to be ambidextrous, or should I say ambipedal, and try and work better with their right foot. So I think Gvardiol's I think there's a bit of pep in it as well. The perfection that Pep always looks for, because now when players want to mark his left foot, he's equally as dangerous with the right shooting. So I think that's
but my only reservation to that is I don't think anybody goes into a game trying to mark a defender. I get it if they are trying to mark Erling Haaland, and okay, his left foot is obvious, stronger foot, but Haaland still scores with his right foot. So I think okay, first instinct, unless you're marking a player like Anthony. Nah, that one just pinning.
I think it's usually being so one-footed. I see it more with the left-footed players. Do you understand? Like where the skillful left-footed players, it's really difficult for them to. That's why this value zone is crazy because it's also left-footed. Yeah. But the balance, I think positioning too has to do with it. Just like Bobby said, even like I remember Pedro, right? He had to be playing from the right, or and he's right-footed, but he had to play from the right. So cutting in, he had to use his left to like do finesse. Greenwood, I don't even know what to date. I don't know what he uses.
No, Greenwood does not have. So
we're
talking about players with weaker foot. Usman Dembele, those players don't have weaker foot.
Yeah, I think that was one of the issues Mourinho had with Mata when he came to Chelsea. Do you understand? Because he liked his left-footed players coming from the right. Coming from the right.
Because you always like them to invert.
Yeah, so I do like, but I don't think Mata was more of a central guy.
I thought he had there was a bit of industry issue as well in terms of Mata not being so hardworking in terms of tracking back.
Yeah, I think I heard that when he eventually went to United, because I remember his debut against Leicester when you guys played Community Shield, Mourinho's first game for Man United. Yeah. He subbed him Mata and subbed him out. He hated him that much. Bro, I met you here. I saw you here. I met you here. Get out. So yeah, I think it's usually with the lefties. To me, they find it hard to balance both legs. But like you said, it's probably training that makes some of them.
I think it's training and mentality. But speaking of mentality, let's move on to the next talking point. We're going to talk about referee inconsistencies. It's been I won't call it a trending topic, but it's been an off and on topic on the show. Talking about the inconsistencies with VARs, the refereeing decisions. Speaking of refereeing decisions, Frankfurt.
Bobby, they shake
You don't touch him.
You don't touch him,
Like, there's so many. Like, before we even move on to next, which team right now in the Premier League do you feel has been, for lack of a better word, cheated? That feels like they've been cheated in terms of refereeing decisions?
None.
I'm sure he would think, Bobby would think Arsenal. But if we actually check it, they're not the one.
But let's think about it. They're actually not the one, but...
I was actually going to say we are tied with Wolves. We're actually tied with Arsenal are tied with Wolves when it comes to...
I saw something as Man City being one of the...
No.
I saw Man City on
the list as well, but Wolves is the...
I would argue that in my last breath. And for me, it's not... You know, you can always go letter of the law. The law says this, but you have to be consistent doing that. You can't give Arsenal one rule Arsenal and Wolves put them to one rule, and then the rest of the 18 Premier League teams just do whatever.
I'd like to watch Arsenal versus Wolves.
Bro, 3.5 bookings. It's too short.
Because we've seen a lot of similar the delay, the restart delay, and all that stuff where we got Trossard got sent off and Rice got, and in the same game there are similar incidents where it has happened and the referee just closed. And where's the consistency? I'm all for the rules, but you have to be consistent with everybody.
I think I like that. Using a case study, we're going to talk about Saliba's red card. Yeah. So, like Saliba's red card, I think it was given because of obstruction of an obvious goal. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
That was real. That was right.
Yeah,
Bobby, yes, I know it seems like you've been treated unfairly, but I'm sorry.
No.
Are any of those red cards?
So he's not,
are any of those red cards wrong?
I didn't mention Saliba.
No.
Like,
so
immediately, I was when the referee brought out a yellow card initially, I was like, oh, we got away with it. I knew it was a red immediately. And then when the VAR, the only thing I had the problem with was the fact that I felt like Awodweb was somehow involved, talking to the VAR, which was very, very off, and which was going to like spark conspiracy theories. But I knew it was a red. The one that followed the next day.
Yeah, that should have been a red.
That's Tosin.
Yes.
And so my
you know go wear lawyer court case.
No, my take on the Tosin one, because I also saw the game. And initially, when I saw it first, I felt like, okay, yeah, that's a red. You understand? But when I watched it again, I think it was leveled with Colwill. Do you understand? When they were running back. So I think, I'm not saying it should not have been a red. It could have gone either way. But, obviously, the referee's decision in that split second is what matters, really. And it's the obvious error that actually now comes in. But at that point, I'm thinking, okay, the referee saw that, okay, if Jota had gone, Colwill could have caught up still. Yeah. Do you understand? And that was...
Who is meant to judge that? The referee?
Yeah. It should be the referee's intuition to know that, okay,
in that second. VAR only. In that second.
Okay, would it make sense if Colwill was a slow defender?
No, it doesn't matter. I don't think that matters.
It doesn't matter.
Speed doesn't
so far,
matter.
you're just on the same line.
So, can I...
No, so I think it matters. I think players...
It does.
To the decision.
Yes.
It doesn't matter to the
decision. They take it in context. Because, which was one of the reasons why I was upset at the Saliba red card. Because Saliba is... If Saliba did not foul him, Saliba would have caught up. Evanilson is not the fastest of players compared... I've seen Saliba outpace Darwin Núñez. So Evan Nielsen is not the fastest of players. And also White was recovering. Albeit it was a few distance
Far,
away.
yeah.
Horizontally, but he was also recovering.
So now to buttress that your point, I get where you're coming from. Saliba is actually a pacey
fast,
defender, no doubt. But I was watching an interview on Sky Sports today, and they broke down the speeds that they were going at that particular time. The speed that Evan Nielsen was going on was, I think, about 35 miles per hour or something. And then Saliba was going about 27 or so.
But guess what?
I'll need to confirm that.
Guess what? He won't have been able to maintain that speed up to the goal because he will need to control. It was a ball over the top.
Now-
he will need to bring it down. And
He will
bring
get
that
slower, and
control.
Saliba will get
He will
faster.
get slower, and
So
Saliba is going to
now,
get faster.
just hold on. There's a point I'm trying to make. So, of course, obviously, it's called the last man.
Yeah.
And now a situation where Ben White, I think this is the major difference between the Tosin and the Ben White and the Saliba situation. A situation where Saliba was not going to catch Ben, what do you call it? Ben White too was not going to catch
It
him.
was far away.
It was far away. But with Tosin's one, it was
With Colwell.
yeah. It was.
That's why I think. That's why.
I think that's
I'm
the
not.
reason.
I'm not. I'm not.
That's
I'm not
the
justifying
official
it.
justification.
For us to go-
I'm
for
not
us to-
justifying
My
it.
point is for us to go this deep with analyzing how where
That means there's an obvious error. Yeah, I agree with you. It should not be.
if
There are
Saliba
clear
is
cut
a
rules
is
to
a
it.
red, Tosin should be a red. Saliba is a yellow, Tosin should be a yellow. Just be consistent. You can't tell me because Kobe was 10 meters away and horizontally, and White was 20 meters away. I've seen White catch up Leroy Sané. So there are a lot of variables, if, buts, and maybes, and all of that.
Maybe
so
if he gets a bad first touch, stuff
you
like
know,
that. Yeah, I get you. I
under
get
pressure as
you.
well.
Timmy, no 1 year.
I expect him to hear, but I'm just saying.
But talking about, Arsenal generally, I have a couple of questions for you here because that's the third red card this season. And we've
In how
agreed
many
that
games?
in like just
8
nine-
games.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can we agree that we've agreed that all those red cards are actually good?
It
right?
doesn't agree with
I
Trossard's
mean,
zone. It
what-
doesn't agree
what
with
do you
Trossard's
mean
zone.
actually good.
Like they were
were
actual
red cards.
If we're using the rule,
If
he's
we're
wanting
using
to
let
say,
out the law,
he's
yeah,
wanting
okay,
to
okay,
say
It's
yes,
not
yes,
consistent.
yes, yes.
referee not
Yeah,
consistent.
but
Alright,
by the
fine.
book.
Alright, fine.
So what's going on there? That's one. Because Rice's zone was, I thought Rice's zone was stupid. Kicking that ball, like, no matter how he kicked it, I don't care. So what's happening there? And two, we were talking before we started the show, and you said you can't wait for Saka and Odegaard to be back, meaning that even when Saka was playing, you missed Odegaard.
Even when Saka was playing.
When Saka was still around.
I sense an agenda.
Manager is going.
There's an agenda cooking.
No, guy, allow me cook.
Yes,
Allow
no,
me
no,
cook.
I miss Odegaard.
So
yes.
not just missing him.
Like,
How
when Saka
much
was
has
out.
it affected your team this season?
Odegaard is one of the best creative midfielders in the world. His absence will affect any team. Saka is one
It
of the
didn't
best
affect Real
wingers in-
Madrid, sha, but continue.
Saka is what? Come on, it was a 15-year-old boy. Come on, let's
I'm
do
sorry.
that.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
not do that.
I'm sorry. I'm
Let's not do
sorry.
that. Okay, let me rephrase. Currently, Odegaard is one of the best midfielders in the world.
Agreed.
Saka is one of the best wingers in the world. Their absence would affect any team. And I would give props to Arteta on how he's managed to tactically tweak the team when Odegaard got injured, because we all thought we were in trouble. Odegaard has a fantastic injury record. He hardly gets injured for same as Saka, which is why this is a surprise. But he hardly gets injured. Well, Arteta has managed to tweak and change us to a 4-4-2, playing Trossard and Havertz up front with Saka and Martinelli out wide before Saka got injured. And that's when we have really become in trouble, because it's one thing to miss one of your best players who is also a creator, but to miss two who are your best creators,
deadly.
it's
Two
crazy.
who are your best. One is your best
Yeah, the
creator,
best
and one
player
is your
is your
best.
team.
Your best
Actually,
player.
So
Yeah,
it's
nah.
really,
What's going on with Trossard though? Because I can see a lot of
See,
Arsenal fans.
I'm sorry. Since we're talking about Trossard, I just want to say that let me not say God will punish him, because you will catch him. You know, I always have a tail for my bets. I had this sweet game, long shot, 60 odds. I was already spending the money. Like, see, they for hear me for Lagos this week. Anywhere I go, siren, pa-na-na. Sweet game. The only game that caught it, I carried Arsenal. It was in the Champions League. Arsenal, Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
I carried Arsenal to score in the second half. I
Trossard
carried
penalty.
2 goals in the second half. And Trossard missed the penalty.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Well, I felt the pain. I'm like, okay, so this is what so that's what Arsenal fans go through often. I felt it.
Coming from
I'm a
Man
big
fan.
Trossard fan. I'm a big Trossard
I'm
fan.
not trying
And
to protect Trossard, but even if he had scored, your game would have still scored.
No. If you had scored- no. It's like, the penalty was in the 70-something minutes.
Yeah, so it's not like 10 minutes.
Yes, and I know that another goal would have entered. But at least
Tommy Wadu like to hear say game boycott.
may one enter.
Oh boy. So as for Bamiji's question with Trossard, Trossard has always been an impact player for us, and he's a confidence player as well. If his confidence is high, he performs. If his confidence is low, but if you give him a consistent run of like 5 games where he plays 90 minutes, you might get like 2-3 games where he performs, and then the main 2 games you're like, what are you doing? So I think we never got him. I was one of the biggest advocates of Trossard to come to Arsenal. As at 2021, 22,
I think that was from Brighton, right?
Yeah, I was tweeting. I remember I was clowned on social media a lot for wanting.
That means you didn't want Modric or what?
No, I didn't. But I was clowning. I was being clowned on
I
social
don't.
media for begging. I was on my knees begging for Trossard. And when we got him, he's been really decent for us this season. I'm sure he just needs probably an arm around him, and then he would turn up good. And as for Bamji's question as regards whether there is indiscipline, because I know that's where you're going to with the red cards. Look, two of the red cards has been for kicking the ball away, and I get it's a new rule in the Prem, and these things are things that footballers are used to.
It's reflex.
You've been doing this all your life.
Yeah,
it's reflex at times, and it's to take time for them to adjust to it. I don't think there is an indiscipline issue with the squad. Saliba's red card was also an unfortunate incident, so I really don't think it's an indiscipline issue.
If it's not an indiscipline issue, are you going to blame it on like the refereeing?
No, you just blame
not
the
even
fact
the
that
refereeing.
players are getting
Players
used
are
to the
getting
new.
used to
The word
no.
I'm looking for is an agenda. You don't think there's an agenda against? Because Kenny,
There's no agenda against any club.
I don't say that.
Because Kenny,
There's no agenda against any club. in
for people that don't know who Kenny is,
Arsenal fans cry,
Kenny is
That's the truth.
Kenny is
They're
the most
always
overzealous
just-
Arsenal fan in the world,
talking.
and we
I
love
mean-
him. Kenny would die on the hill
that there's an agenda.
that there's an agenda against Arsenal.
Do you think there's an
I
agenda?
don't
Don't
think there's
lie.
an agenda against any club. I think the referees in England are very poor. I feel like
No,
I
that's
feel
the truth.
I feel like I'm going to
It's
say
true,
this.
they are poor.
I'm going to say this. I feel like
I didn't expect that.
the moms in England should give their children more attention.
Wow.
Because some of them are going
Send
to
them home.
Wow, that's
grow
deep.
up-
And
grow up
become
to be referees. And if they don't get attention from their parents, they're going to look for it on the pitch.
Shit.
So I feel that is what they like. Have you ever noticed a Champions League game? You hardly know the Champions League refs. You hardly see them in the spotlight, except like some weird incident like Oviedo.
We see it at the international tournaments. You don't know
You
who
don't
the
know the
referees
refs, but
Games
you
go well.
know who Anthony Taylor
So
is.
I have a
you know who
question.
Howard Webb is. You know
So are you
because
saying Michael Oliver is not loved at home?
most of them are not loved at home. Because why would you be looking for love or attention on the pitch? You can't. They always want to be. I remember Mike Dean. Mike Dean points to the penalty spot as if he knows the camera is on him. He can do a 360 turn. What is your problem? Do your job, man.
I won't lie. Some referees take that in. Try VR. You see them?
Mike Dean loves it.
You see them?
Bro.
Mike
He
Dean.
loves the attention.
Bro. Anthony Taylor. Those guys.
Funny enough, the last time Bobby was here, he was so happy that Liverpool were going to end the season trophyless. And guess what? Arsenal is playing Liverpool again. Do you think you have enough to...
No, don't.
10 men behind the ball.
Just wait, Bobby. Wait. It's not yet time. That's the final segment. I go like when it's time for that.
Okay.
You understand?
All right, there's just one more thing I want us to do, though. We did it last week, and we're doing it this week again. Keep, sell, bench. 3 right backs. Danny Carvajal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Hakimi. Starting.
I'm keeping Trent. No matter
Keeping
what.
Trent. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
keeping Trent.
tough.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm keeping Trent.
Why are you benching?
Who are you mentioning?
Hakimi and Carvajal.
Yes, I think
He's
Carvajal.
old, so I mean,
Old, but I mean, he still had almost a Ballon d'Or top 5
good
season.
season, proper season.
But that's
I
it.
mean, but it has
Fair
to
enough,
go
Bobby?
this time.
I don't rate Hakimi that much.
Okay.
So
Sell Hakimi.
yeah. Stuff between Trent and Carvajal because Trent is like probably the best right back in the world right now.
Yeah.
But Carvajal has the
Experience.
he has the doings. So just for that, I would just edge it Carvajal because of what he's done. Not because of right now, obviously Trent is better, but because of what Carvajal's done. I don't think Trent has gotten to that level yet of what Carvajal has achieved. So
All right, tomorrow wrap it and take us to the break.
I think for me, I'll sell Hakimi too, and it's because I think Hakimi is a pace merchant. Let's be honest, and I would start Trent, and it's not even because of his set piece powers. That's why I was starting. Then Carvajal because of the experience. He's the kind of player I would trust to help me like an important game.
Help me see it out.
Help me see it out. I trust that. But yeah, I think those are options. If you have any other, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, kindly join the conversation at Home of TSL on X. This sports lounge is going to be back after the break.
Are you not keeping? Why are you keeping us early?
Let's go after the break.
All right. Please make sure you do not change the channel. This is the Sports Lounge where we embody the lifestyle, spirit, and banter of sports fans all over. And we are here with our MDCA winner.
Babo.
Keep doing this.
Babo.
I don't know why they keep doing this. I really don't know why they keep doing this.
It's not every day celebs on our couches. Thank you very much. Remember not to change the channel.
I'm just waiting for your keep sale. It doesn't matter. What's your keep
What's
sale?
your keep sale? What's your keep sale? I was surprised. I'm curious.
You're keeping Caballero.
I'll bench Cavani.
Okay.
That's the first
Who are you
thing.
selling?
I need Cavani. I'll
Are
bench.
we?
Who I
I'll
said?
sell Akemi. And I'll start because they both won.
You're welcome back to the Sports Lounge where we embody the lifestyle, spirit, and banter of sports fans all over. We ended the conversation by picking, Bamji made us do a quiz.
Keep sell bench.
Keep sell bench.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, Akimi, and Danny Carvajal.
All right, that's good. And we all made our choices. So if you missed that, you can catch a recap on our YouTube page, Home of the Sports Lounge. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to UCL. A lot of interesting things happened in the UCL this week. It was, Chelsea Treasure is smiling. I love it when an agenda comes together. Treasure, would you do the honors of watching
I
this and
have
company?
been shouting this thing for a while. Vincent Company, oh God, wherever you are, thank you very much. You have made my agenda. You're breathing life to my agenda. Vincent Company, to me, is a fraud. I don't know how else I can put it more than that. And my reasons for this is, I know a lot of people will tell you, okay, you know what, in Burnley he was still doing something good, you know. In as much as they came from relegation and went back to relegation, and then bringing him to Bayern Munich, and then like, okay, we can see his patterns of play and stuff like that. Papa just has a superior squad compared to a lot of people. When you see him actually play games with managers who know their 1-on-1 or their 2-on-2s, you actually begin to see the struggles of Bayern Munich. For God's sake, why do I still have, what's that guy's name in their defense? Upamecano. Why is that guy still there?
Is that a company problem?
It is, as far as I'm concerned.
Is he the one that signed Upamecano?
He's not the one that signed, but why is he playing him?
Is it not with what you have you play?
Who else is going to play?
And no, let me even understand there. So your criticism of him is in the Champions League, right? Because it's top of Bundesliga.
So my criticism of him is I don't see why people think, okay, that this guy is actually really good. What exactly is he? What has he done that's so standout?
So I think for company, what people rate is how I think people have come to love managers that have a philosophy and stick to it. We saw him bring Burnley from the Championship, win the Champions League like by a long, mile, and bring Burnley back. He stuck to his philosophy in the Premier League. Obviously, that didn't work for him because of the quality of players that he had, and he went back down. And then he got the move to Bayern, and he's been doing well in the Bundesliga so far.
The top.
He had a
Games that they lost last season, they've won.
He had a game
This
where
season.
he lost to Barcelona, albeit he lost embarrassingly, but he lost, and he lost to a far superior. Let's get this straight. Hansi Flick is not anybody's mate.
He's not
Exactly.
anybody. Like,
Exactly.
He's a proper.
no,
coach.
but that's actually buttressing what Treasure is saying. Because Treasure is saying that.
No, nobody's saying.
let him land.
Nobody's
Okay.
saying.
Let him
company
land.
is
He's
better
special.
than- Yeah.
Who has ever come here to say
Nobody was
company
saying he's
great?
on the same level with
People were
Hansi
even shocked
It's
that
okay
he got
for
the
you.
Bayern job.
It's okay
Because
for you.
like 4 other people had actually rejected the Bayern job. Nobody wanted to touch the Bayern with a long stick.
Yeah, because of the
pole. Come
pressure
on.
that comes with the job, you have to deliver. That is it. So it's even a bit of bravery.
Let me ask you a
What I'm
question.
trying to make
Let me
is-
ask you a question. Is Bayern more pressurized than a Barca or than a Man U that has so much media
I think they're
coverage?
equally as, if not more.
Not just.
No,
It's not just
I
even
don't
that.
think
It's the difference in terms of who they answer to. For other clubs, I hope you know Bayern is like one of the only club that has a different structure in terms of
Yeah.
their management. They're run by the fans,
Yeah.
by the fans and
Old players.
old
Good
players.
players.
So the difference in pressure is actually very different. So Treasure, I'm not denying or saying
Go ahead.
company is not a fraud or is not
Right.
anything.
You can't call
What
company a
what were
fraud.
you expecting him to do? Like fine. Yeah, you've gotten.
So
you've gotten.
I've had engagements where you would have someone say, "Oh no, that's he's actually a good coach. It's just the level of players that he actually had." And I'm like, based on what? What exactly has he done that was actually that fantastic, right? And then you're carrying company into a squad where, for God's sake, you have Harry Kane. Like you have some of these ballers. You have Musiala balling like.
So because they didn't work last season.
Stuff of
Is
his
Tuchel
lives.
bad?
Is this just off the Bacallos or as
No, Treasure has always had an agenda against company.
Like, where's he coming
Like
from?
I literally woke Treasure up from sleep to come and give this agenda.
I remember when when we were saying Bayern Munich versus Bayern Leverkusen here, and then guys were like, I don't know who was on the panel that day, and then they were telling me like Bayern Munich could actually win that game. I just didn't want to talk. In my mind, I'm like, it can't happen.
You probably don't rate
It
him.
can't happen.
But it's okay to get
can't
tactically
happen.
outclassed by Hansi Flick.
It's okay, it's all right.
It's very okay.
By a backer that's probably playing that Madrid that's arguably one of the best teams in the world right now is worried to play
Aston
against.
Villa is in the form of their lives right
Yeah.
now. Like Aston Villa is actually
In the
playing
Champions
a lot of
League.
ball.
Yeah.
Even in the Premier League.
Premier League, even in the Premier
League.
League, Premier League and Champions League. But were you actually expecting Aston Villa to beat Bayern?
No.
No, I wasn't.
I don't think anybody was.
But Unai Emery
But that was
That was exactly
Come
my
on.
point.
So
That
he-
is
I-
exactly
that's-
my point.
so-
Like when he gets and meets someone that can actually like rival like him tactically and actually do wonders with their squad. Most often than not, company comes out second best.
Okay, I can agree with that. But in terms of how he's doing this
His
season,
performance. No.
okay.
So Treasure, no, I get
doing
I get where Treasure is coming from. I get where Treasure is coming from. It makes sense to a large extent. So actually, it shows when a more technically gifted manager is.
And again, I
No
feel like
doubt.
the veterans in Bayern are beginning to lose it somewhat. The Kimmiches and the Neuer, they are not up to the standard that they used to be. So they might need like
An overhaul of the
rejig.
squad.
Yeah,
No
just to,
doubt.
like, revamp the
Now,
whole squad.
talking about another team, I think this for me would be the highlight or the maddest game in the Champions League this week was Madrid Borussia Dortmund. Now, there's this thing that happens, Bamji, you've seen it happen a couple of times where people call me randomly and they're like, oh, what do you think are your thoughts on this game and whatnot? I had one of my guys in Canada, Chris, he called me and he's like, Borussia Dortmund's first half, they're winning 2-0. I was sleeping. And I woke up, got a call, like, how far? He said, yo, Madrid is losing. What's going on? As if I'm the coach. Like, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry, Ancelotti's going to raise his eyebrows in the second half. And guess what? The odds for Madrid to win as at when they were 2-0 down was 12. So meaning if you had played 1,000 naira, you'd have won 12,000 on the spot. Wow. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, no, go for it. That don't worry, Ancelotti is going to raise his eyebrow. And that's exactly what I said. And I went back to sleep. And I woke up 3-2. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't 3-2. 5-2. 5-2. See, that second half was an entirely different Real Madrid team.
Yeah.
He had Vinicius giving us a world class, proving that he is meant and destined for the Ballon d'Or.
So there's something I like to say about Real Madrid. If you have the opportunity, if your leg is on their jugular, don't raise that leg up. Don't even
I
give
didn't match
them,
him. I didn't match him.
don't
I didn't
even
match him.
give them the slightest opportunity that
To feel
you know
like
what
they can come back.
they can
Don't
actually
give them a
come
glimmer
back
of hope.
because they would hit you hard. I remember when it was 3-2 and I'm like in my mind, 2-2 in my mind, game done, finish, me and go do other things. And before I know what, my guy was buzzing me like, you don't see this scores. I say, waiting there, come. I open TV, I saw 5-2. So Real Madrid is one of those teams that do not give them a glimmer of hope.
Don't think of sitting back.
Don't
Don't even think of it because they don't necessarily break you down with maybe a tactical approach. They break you down with their mentality because they know that they will beat
And
you.
they-
As long
and
as
exactly.
they sense that okay, you are comfortable, you want to protect what you have. They will come
And
come.
Madrid, they are always confident in the ability of their players.
Exactly.
Like when they raise
That's what
their
the mentality
confidence.
is, yeah.
I want to know what Ancelotti told them in the break room.
So it's not even an Ancelotti team alone. You see, Real Madrid is, in as much as I don't like them, because I think they have a hand in how transfers have become overbloated and stuff. I feel
Okay, Man U doesn't have a hand in that.
no, in terms of who started it.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, Bam Bam. Do you mean with what incidents?
Ronaldo. Ronaldo, Bale. This season they signed Ronaldo, Higuain, Kaká.
I think was it the Galactico season?
But it was not the first time they were doing. They had done
I
that
know
with
that's my
Beckham.
point.
Yeah, but Bamiji,
Other clubs-
they have a tendency of once a player is doing very well,
They go and snap.
Other
it.
clubs,
like
other
they did it
clubs
with
saw that.
Mbappe
I'm like,
recently.
why are you doing this? And probably they don't have what the resources or even the what I call it. What I want to talk about now, the mentality. Real Madrid is a perfect example of how a club should be managed, because mentality is passed from different team to different team.
Oh yeah.
So it's not an Ancelotti team. Check it. There are many times in the Champions League where Real Madrid have found themselves in this situation, and they always find a way to come back.
Be it Ronaldo.
Whether it's Ancelotti there, whether it's Zidane there, whether it's anybody there, they always find a way to come back. Why is that? Why is that mentality being passed down from different teams to different teams? And I won't lie to you, I've been pushing Rodri for Ballon d'Or because I feel if a DM cannot win it
This year,
with that performance
then-
with that individual
then it's never going
performance,
to
Bobby's doing his face anyhow. But if a DM cannot win it with that performance, when will the defensive midfielder ever win it? But I won't lie to you, I watched him in that game and I was like, hands up.
Yeah.
I was hands
You
up.
have
I won't
to
lie.
lock up.
I was hands up because
It was
I saw Vinicius chasing balls that were lost cost. And I'm like,
second half. He ran throughout
Was on
second half.
something in that game.
I'm like,
Second
what's
half.
going on?
They should do a drug
What
test.
mentality
He
is this?
ran throughout that second half.
So do you know why- do you
You're
know
meant to
why-
be the
do you know why-
special player in
do you
this
know why-
team
do you know
that
why-
is even allowed
Luxury
to
player
say
say
don't-
no, nah, just
He was the one
collect the ball and
chasing.
passes.
And when he got the ball, he was God, man. That was
You know why
like-
this
I
thing?
saw
You
a
know why
clip
this
of-
thing is actually making me laugh? Just some years ago, it was Vinicius that they were picking on. Who remembers that game where Benzema said, "I can swear on my mother
Yeah,
that
that
Vinicius is playing against us," and it
yeah.
looked like Vinicius was actually
Yeah,
about
I
to
remember.
cry.
Yeah.
And now we
It took
actually
him some
see this
time
thing
to-
that Bamiji actually saying about the mentality being passed.
That's
from-
where Ancelotti comes in, because I remember at that point. Thank you for bringing up that point. Vinicius had an issue. He was a Joga Bonito player. The flair, the flicks, the tricks, but his finishing was off. Ancelotti sat him down. I won't give Ancelotti the entire credit. Probably give it. I'm not sure the attacking coach for Real Madrid is, but Ancelotti did something and just said, "Guy, if you can improve this aspect of your game, you will be a complete player." And he did that, and that's where the manager comes from. I get it that the mentality is there, but the mentality is a downward stream. It comes from in fact, it comes from the management of the team. It stems down to the management of the players, to the players themselves. So that's where I come from with that. And before we move on to the FPL segment, where we're going to discuss the winner of the Home of TSL Manager of the Week, I would like us to talk about Aston Villa. I know we hinted at it earlier in the conversation, but what is going on? I think they are the biggest beneficiaries of this current UCL format.
Yeah, they are, and it's. I'm happy for, as much as it might be hard for people to believe because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm actually happy for Emery because I want him to actually have a decent, UCL season. People have always been saying he's a Europa League merchant on all of that, but I know that he's actually a decent or a very good coach. Quick betting tip for most people here. Whenever you see an Aston Villa game, just go Aston Villa to score in the second half. It works every time. So
There you have it.
Yeah.
We will still discuss about it later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
so continue.
Yeah, so like I said, Aston Villa are doing really well, and there's a great balance with how they are playing. They have two strikers, and which is actually one of the things I give Emery credit for. How he knows how to get the best out of his centre forwards. I remember from the days of Aubameyang towards Arsenal, and when he was at Sevilla, he had Ben Yedder too doing a madness. So it's good for them, and then we'll see how far they can carry it.
Aston Villa they're a well-coached team. That's what I'll say. Because they lost key players this window. Douglas Luiz was very important to how the dynamics of their midfield was. And to lose him and not feel so much of a difference. I think they're doing really well to be top of the UCL at the
Aside
moment.
from that, I think this is also Unai Emery's MO. So he has a thing of having like this kind of entering clubs that are not there, but they are not bad, and then actually getting those kind of clubs.
Yeah,
to
we've
actually
discussed
perform.
about
I think
that
that's
a while
his
back.
MO.
That I don't think any big club should be looking at him and say, I want him. No.
No.
He's not good.
Leave him
That's
as where
exactly.
he is.
Sevilla's the Villa.
I think he's a player
Exactly.
that when you put, he's a coach that when you put too much pressure on him,
Yeah.
he crumbles a bit.
Probably because he messed up at PSG a lot.
Yeah.
And does that mean you would have a bad career? No. I don't think it should mean you have a bad
I mean,
career.
look at Sam Allardyce.
Look
I
at
think
what
even him now would know not to go to. Will be
bigger
skeptical
club.
about going to big
bigger
clubs.
clubs,
From now,
yeah, exactly.
Clubs where you have this thing. But speaking of that, I think we want to just diverse just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We're going to go into the NBA conversation. The NBA is back, and oh my God.
Shout out to Charlie, by the way.
Ooh, shout out to you, Charlie. So, Treasure, Alpha, there was a comment that Anthony Edwards made recently. Would you like to share that comment with us and tell us your thoughts?
So yeah, like it had something to do with if he was in Jordan's era, right? And then how he would be like one of the best. And so what we see happening a lot is there's this thing with eras. I don't think it's just basketball related alone. Like you tend to have it even in football conversations and all. Like I was having an argument with, sorry, permit me to use the word, a Gen Z person. And then in my mind, I was like,
Your age is showing, Sha.
sorry. I'm like, man, it feels like football nowadays is just so lazy. Like, and then the guy's like, what do I mean? I said, can't you see the times when we were rotting Milito, Cambiaso, man, that like football, men played football back then. And so this actually also applies in the NBA, where you see a lot of the guys on the younger generation say, okay, you know what? If we were playing in that time, we would have been dominating. And then you even have some people in that generation saying, if we were playing in your time, we would have been dominating and things like this. I think where I like to lie is just giving respect to the various
OGs,
eras,
yes.
actually. Just giving respect to the OGs. And there was something LeBron said one time, for you to be really good at basketball, he said one of the things that he does is he studied the OGs. He studied the history of the game as well. And so, yes, while I might say that in this period, we do have a lot more skillful basketball players, but I don't like to take away from what the OGs have actually done within their time. The game back then was, as a lot of them would like to say, very physical, very aggressive, and things like that. So, yeah.
And then players were not protected.
So let's say you were
And
one.
I do
Let's
think
say
like-
you were one to disrespect errors. Does he have a point?
No. See, I'll answer that on behalf. Do you know the reason why I believe he doesn't have a point? Is because it's MJ. MJ was a mentality monster. They have guys that in the NBA, in history, no matter what you look at it, you have MJ, you have Kobe, you have LeBron James. These are guys that it's here. If a player came up back then that stepped up to MJ, MJ would have stepped up further. Like, I feel like MJ had... I watched the Michael Jackson documentary. I had seen a couple of clips. Michael Jackson is one of the reasons why I say Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan is one of the reasons why I watch basketball. I will never forget the flu Jordan. This guy had a flu. He literally looked like he was about to die every time he sat down on the bench. I think that game he still made about 36 points.
Yeah, MJ was still MJ in that game, even with the flu.
MJ, like, why are you doing this? And the reason why he was not meant to play that game, but it was the playoffs. And that was a very important game. I think that was like game 4 or something. Or game 5. Like game 5 or 6. I have a very shit memory. I apologize. Pardon my French. But like that, I feel like Anthony Edwards, the likes of Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, even Giannis, if there was a Giannis at the era of Michael Jordan, he would have stepped up again.
Right? A couple of people do think that Anthony Edwards might not be wrong. And that's why when he asked me that question, I first smiled, because I was actually thinking about it. Because you could say, like, there was once again, the quality of players we were having in our day and time, it wasn't as widespread as back in the days, right? So you had a concentration of the very good guys in very specific teams, right? Not like we have in today's game where you have talent spread across the league and stuff like that. So there's actually an argument to be had about whether the league is actually even more talented this period, which I also tilt towards the line that the league is actually more talented this period in time. But when it comes to MJ,
MJ is an anomaly. You can go after any other player.
when it comes to MJ,
You could have gone after any other player, but not MJ.
I'd rather not.
I mean, to purchase on what he said about MJ, I remember there was this clip of MJ that I saw. He was going for I think it was going for a playoff, so it was the final. It was supposed to be a 7-game series, and I think they were leading 3-2, and it was going for the final one. I think it was supposed to play away to the opposition. And then if the opposition won, they were going to play the 7th
Game
one.
6,
and I think the 7th one was also going to be at the opposition's home. And then he was like, no, he's just packing for this. Every other person packed for like 2 games.
Yes, he packed for
just
one.
packed for one. And
Yeah.
he was like, no, we're finishing.
We're finishing,
everything
like,
here. And
we're
I'm
cleaning them out.
No, everything.
Like, this game is over. Like,
That's
why I
mentality
said
is
the mentality is different. Now, I like the fact that we moved into the NBA conversation. We don't have. I apologize to our NBA fans. We don't have enough time. I know that the NBA season has started, and you guys are really interested in what we have to say, but we just decided to just give you a tip of the iceberg. Now, I'm going to go back to the FPL conversation. Now, Bamiji, who is our in-house
yes.
who is our in-house FPL analyst? We're preparing the manager of the week. I think we're having issues.
We're having issues with the video, but that doesn't mean we can have a conversation. Can I just ask you, Thomas, who is on top of the FPL again?
Bamiji.
Who?
Bamiji.
Are you calling me or are you saying?
No, I'm calling you. I'm not saying it.
Ladies and gentlemen, run from it. Destiny is still here. I'm back to the top of the FPL league.
Bamiji,
And,
if you do not win
Thanos.
manager of
you get
the
it.
week,
You get it.
Bamiji, if you do not win manager of the week this week, because you're making mouths for just one game, it's just not Leicester, Nottingham, and because you have Chris Wood.
Have you ever entered top 3?
No problem.
All right, that should be.
I rest my case.
That should do. That should
See, anything we go lead,
That should just.
any conversation we go lead
But
to
wait,
this kind of hands. I know they involved.
Can I also shout out? Tomiwa, where are you
In where?
in basketball?
I don't know. I don't have time.
Let's allow.
Should I-
Don't just
Tell me
Tomiwa
what
is
Tomiwa
actually, I
can
think
do.
Tomiwa is in Man U's position, no, just by the way on our
Damn.
basketball fantasy.
Damn.
Just
Damn.
putting it out there.
That's cold. That's cold. But anyways, let's go into FPL conversation.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations
He
to
doesn't.
Wisdom Adge, who was the last manager of the week. He did particularly well, and like you said, one of the major assets in FPL right now is Chris Wood. I've been a fan of Chris Wood since his Burnley days. He actually did well in Burnley with the resources he had.
Yeah.
He scored he had 4 10-goal seasons.
Yeah.
And Bobby, let me come to you.
Yeah.
How has he come to be the second highest goal scorer this season? And he's just been so reliable.
Chris Wood is one of those players that in 10, 15 years' time, you call a proper Barclays man.
True.
He's one of them players, and he's very dependable. Like you said, in his Burnley days, you know that he might not give you the 20, 30 goals because of the quality of the team he plays and his quality as well. But you know you are guaranteed to get like 10 to 12 to 13 to 15 from him every season. The only time he had like a spell where he wasn't doing too well was when he was at Newcastle for a bit, and that was because he had like Callum Wilson and the Isaacs ahead of him. Then he left to Nottingham and has found it. He's a striker that I really rate. He plays accordingly to his strengths. He knows he's very good aerially. He knows he's very good with his back to goal. He will dominate in those aspects. You never see him making runs off the shoulder of a defender because obviously that's not his.
Or running
that's
in
not his
from
forte.
behind.
Yeah,
You never
but
see
anything
that.
that comes in the air, leave that one for him. So he's a striker that's really doing well, and can't wait to see how the season turns out for him.
All right, so before we move on to the final segment, which is predictions, so stay tuned. You might win some money. Bamji, do you have any advice for FPL people, particularly me? At this point, I've dropped my shoulder. I can't be getting insulted every week.
Bamiji, before he goes, we'd just like to sing. You have come to draw, draw. What to draw?
See,
Anointing from
see,
Bamiji.
if I decide to take this thing seriously, people are in trouble.
Now, so if, but, when. Anyways, one big advice for FPL is you just need to be active. That's the word. You can't be like Tomoa that would
Ashake.
say you didn't set your team.
But I forgot.
Exactly. You can't. If one of the very big signs that you're not going to excel in FPL, just like Bobby who has quit this season, is that you don't know that there was a game on Friday.
I need to. Do you know, funny enough, I bet on the game.
Oh god.
I bet on the game.
one
I want money
key-
from the game. I
one-
forgot to set my team.
One key thing is have that differential. In as much as you're having the big hitters, have that differential that's going to be giving you points. Chris Wood has been my differential, although plenty of people have want to buy him now. So I'll have to go and look for another player. But you need to find out one differential that nobody.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a striker.
Can
No,
you,
that's
can
Striker.
you explain the meaning of differential to
Oh
viewers?
yeah, differential is someone that not a lot of people have, and I mean, there are big hitters in the game. There's Haaland, there's Saka. They're called premiums. But a differential is someone who definitely who gives points every now and then, but is not owned by a lot of people. That's as simple as that.
Cost much.
And doesn't cost much.
And the good thing about having a differential is the points he gets. Since most people don't have him, those
He
points
boosts
are
you.
almost exclusive.
Exactly. For example, Chris Wood had 13 points.
Bro, imagine
So
someone
you started your
captaining.
week very well already. If you had it.
exactly.
That's why Bamji is making noise.
It's good. Top of the league again. We shall see at the end of the week.
All right, let's
Back
move on
to
to
you.
the final segment. So now we're going to go to predictions. We have three
Under
major
2.5.
things going on.
Here we go again.
See, so wait,
Here we go again.
there's this
Over
hate.
3.2.
There is this hate that I keep getting from Bamji, and I don't like it.
No, see, I rate you. I
You
rate you. I won't lie. I rate you. Let's just have a shake. I'm better at FPL. I'm better at under 2.5.
I'm better at punditing, or if that's the
All
word.
right, I'm better at fantasy.
You're better at fantasy.
Cool,
Okay, but one of us makes more money.
You think so? Some of those money I'm making, I'm taking it at the end of the season because we had the bet that
You've already taken
we'll
it.
finish
You've
it.
already
It's
taken
not-
it.
Have you sent it to me?
I've sent it to Bema is a pundit.
Please, you can tell him to send it to me if you show.
No, game has not. Yeah, you collect your money in when the season finishes, not in May or
No,
June.
wala.
That's when you collect it, but the money is with our ombudsman.
I'm sure here for it too. Either ways.
All right, so we have two major football games happening, and then we have a UFC game coming in. Yes, we also talk about UFC, so we'll be doing that later on. Don't worry, we got you. So there are two major games happening this weekend. Actually, tonight is going to be El Clásico. Guys, remember when El Clásico was the ish? Yeah, let me say that. Remember back in then when Messi, Ronaldo, all of that. Are we seeing a repeat? As El Clásico become that now? And what is even happening is we have two Brazilians doing it. We have Rafinha on Barcelona. We have Vinicius on Real Madrid. Like, are we back to that era? Are we back to El Clásico being exciting? Because El Clásico was dull for a while.
Yeah, it was.
I remember back when
Been dull for a while.
I remember when we were in school that we would go all the way to common room.
Common room is full.
yes.
Common room will be full, dining will be full. Some people will be streaming the games in computer lab, all those kind of things. Just watch a Clásico. Now that vibe has gone. Is it back? Because both teams, like, look at their performance in the Champions League. So let's just quickly go straight to the point. We're talking about two games here. We're talking about the Barca Real Madrid, and also talking about
Liverpool,
the Arsenal Liverpool.
yeah.
All right. So as quick roundup, we're about to end the show. Give your takes on what you think, your predictions on what you think is going to happen. Bobby, start.
El Clásico, I see goals in El Clásico. Barca play ridiculously high line,
Yeah.
and Madrid have Vinicius and Mbappe. I think Rodrigo might be injured for the game, but they still have Vinicius and Mbappe, and that is food to them. And as well, they have Barca also have Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, who deal well with mid blocks / low blocks.
Yeah.
So I think that there will be a lot of goals. So my prediction for this is going to be over 2.5 goals.
Love it.
So
So Liverpool, give us a Liverpool Arsenal.
Let me take off my Arsenal hats.
Okay.
Let me take off my
I
Arsenal
like an
hats.
unbiased fan.
Yeah. It's hard to predict. first
It's
of all.
actually hard.
It's actually really hard to predict.
Because both teams are actually playing very well.
Not just that. They might be without Saka. They might be without Odegaard.
Arsenal are going to be most likely without Saka and Odegaard. But something in me tells me Mikel Arteta is playing mind games with Saka's injury.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a chance that Saka might be available. If Saka plays, you are good to go for goals as well. But if Saka does not play, then we might be looking at a Liverpool home or away draw away.
yeah.
If
Alright.
Saka does not play, but if Saka plays, then be sure to go for over 2.5 goals as well.
All right, that's fine. Tresh.
Real Madrid, Barcelona, there's going to be goals, but just like last week, I think Real Madrid would actually edge this out, just because of that mentality.
Okay.
Right? I think Real Madrid will actually edge out this game and actually get the win on Barca.
All right.
Yeah.
What about the Liverpool game?
For Liverpool, I don't know. That's really difficult for
It's a
me
tough
to
one,
call.
right?
It's a really tough one for me to call.
Okay. That's one.
But I would still just give Liverpool to edge it.
That was it. Bamji.
All right. Arteta is going to summon the demons from hell in this game against Liverpool.
Of course.
And
Haram ball at his
I don't
finals.
care whether Saka is available or not. Bro, using Merino, Partey, and Rice against Bournemouth. not talk about Liverpool. He's
Somebody
going
said- somebody said
you might have only one attacker in this game,
Somebody
I promise
said
you.
even Hitler attacked.
Bro, like,
No, but hold on.
So,
he said
I-
he was actually going to come out for this game. You
Come on,
remember?
come on to that
okay.
bed.
That he
Now,
said
now
he
the
was-
first time we
said
Ateta
that-
did
said
like,
that-
I beg, Bam,
now the
you
first
talk
time we
soft
Ateta
up.
did like, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a draw. I just find Arsenal getting a set piece or so to get a goal, but Liverpool will score. Salah, Arsenal is his
Is his baby.
his boy. Yeah.
Yeah, Salah to score is a good option.
Is his wife.
Yeah,
So
good option.
the El Clásico, bro, this is the most anticipated one in a very long
In a
time.
very,
like
very long
Tomo
time.
said.
Yep.
I really think Madrid will edge this one, despite how well Barcelona have started. That fact that they will sit and eat on the counter, unless Flick wants to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I think that would be very off-brand for him. If he sits a draw, if he plays the way he's been playing, I think Madrid will edge it.
You think Madrid will?
Yes.
Okay. So for me, the safe bet for the El Clásico is both teams to score. That's the safest bet to play. Then if you want to be greedy a little bit, Lewandowski to score. If you want to be greedy. Now for the Liverpool Arsenal game, I say an under 4.5 game. It's an important game. It's one of the I won't call it a title decider, but it's one of the teams that if you win it, it gives you confidence to go ahead and move forward. Because these are two teams that are doing well, two managers that are doing well. So I see it as an under 4.5. No matter what, Arteta is going to summon the most haram of haram balls. Liverpool has a very solid defense too, so that. Then I'm also going to talk about the UFC featherweight belt battle that's happening between Topuria and versus Holloway. Topuria is one of the best pound for pound fighters right now, and he's a knockout beast. I think he has 15 wins to not 0 losses. So I'm going to go for a Topuria win, and I think he's going to keep his belt. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you very much, AMVC.
Celeb.
Much
Thank you for
appreciated. Shake
having
me
me.
now. You call it a celebrity. You don't want to shake me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you to all the viewers. We have some people that watch this show every Saturday. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to Verma. Big shout out to my boys, the investors. You guys know yourselves. Big shout out to Rachel. Big shout out to Charlie. Big shout out to everybody that watches game. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you same time next week.
Peace out.
But yeah, both teams are